You're standing at the free throw line. The clock is winding down. That crowd is roaring. The game's on the line. It's that familiar wave of pressure just coming, hitting you, pounding. Your heart is pounding, sweating. Your palms are sweating. Your thoughts are racing. All that is from the wave that's coming. And that's happens. It happens. It's not if the stress shows up. It is when the stress shows up, because pressure is not an option in sport. It is guaranteed. And I'm going to get into this in a little bit more right after I do the intro, because we got a little bit different of a setup today. Hey y'all, welcome to the Mental Performance Playbook, where we are breaking down elite mental strategies and delivering them in actionable exercises for you to apply immediately. My name is Gabe Rummel, mental performance coach, founder of The Athlete's Health, and creator of its Fronoic Gym. Link in the description below. But it is where we are training your mind just like you would train your body, that strength training. Each week on these episodes, we have a theme that'll help the athlete, a coach, a parent gain these mental exercises, add them to your game, and level up your performance, whether it's for your confidence, whether it's the vision, whether it's the composure during those toughest times. And this week's theme is coping with that pressure, handling that pressure. But we got something really cool going with this. Got the PowerPoint, got the visuals with the talking here now, so the podcast can have a little more life to it. Let's share this screen so we can see it, and let's rock and roll. Also, to side note, I did recently shower. The hair's wet, so that's why it looks like this. And I might cut it soon, so we'll see. Boom, we're up. This is handling the heat. Okay, we're gonna be walking through three main ways that we commonly cope with stress, and how this will help you with that mental game. Okay, turning the pressure that is here into power. That is the goal of it. And like I already said, pressure is inevitable, right? It is going to be there, but the question is not how do we avoid it. It's how do we respond when it shows up? Because we're going to all cope differently. I personally believe, and some research says that some are better than others, but if you can understand your default, if you just try to ignore it, or if you just try to stuff it away, or if you attack it, it's going to help you figure out that first step into mastering this. And that is ultimately what we are trying to do here. So I got three kinds for us, three kinds that usually happen. Okay, when that stress hits, when the things happen, we got three categories, and we got to make sure that we can recognize these so we can perform our best. That number one, that first one, is the avoidance. Okay, avoidance coping. This is when you're just thinking, I'm going to just try and run away, skedaddle, get out of here from that stressor. The second one is an emotional focused coping. It's when you're going to try and just regulate. You're going to try and, like a clockwork, get what you're feeling, how you're feeling it, what you're moving on, how you're moving on, and everything else in there. You control the inner state. That is what this one is doing. And the third one, the one I personally like the most, is the problem focused coping. This is when we are trying to find the root of it, attacking it, digging it out, making sure it doesn't grow back up like a weed, like the weed that it could be. That, in essence, is the one that we're going to focus on the most, but we're going to walk through all these two and how these really do make a big difference in what we got going on. And that brings us to this first one, right? The athletes that are going to blow a play and then instantly blame the refs, right? They're gonna storm off. They're gonna distract themselves with social media, and then eventually they're gonna come back to it, right? They're dodging that discomfort instead of dealing with it. When the stress hits, do you face it head on, or do you look for ways to escape it? Because this will temporarily help, but long term, it's probably going to come back. It's going to return, and oftentimes that's going to be stronger than before, because it's going to compound. It's going to add on top of what it was doing before. This is a band-aid fix that in that moment helps us feel safe, but with the real growth We need to actually face it. We need to try and do more rather than just avoiding it. So, some things to do, things to think about if you're doing this or not is look at the question: are you endlessly scrolling on social media, especially when you're not feeling the best? Is that your go to exercise? Are you blaming other things, other events that really have no control, no shape, way, or form? Are you maybe overtraining to just avoid something that's happening up here? I mean, that is a common thing. Someone will dive deeper, deeper, deeper into more training when sometimes, like, it helps. Trust me. I get it. It helps. We need to actually, you can still do training, but maybe not overtrain, and then take a step back and look at what's going on up here. See if we can train that too. Right? It's just like if performance is school, you got math and science and reading, you got different parts of your performance, nutrition, physical, mental. We gotta look at all of them, right? And if we're zoning out, that's just another thing that we're looking at that is holding us back, that we are just avoiding because we're literally zoning out of it. It feels safe, but the growth lies in the uncomfortable areas. So the question is, what am I avoiding right now? With boom, you got stress on you, you got pressure on you. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? And whatever you say is probably the edge that you need to use to catapult yourself to the next area. And I just want to make sure too that we know this, that it's not just you or me. NBA players might avoid, or any professional athlete might avoid reviewing their game film on a game that they don't do as good in. But as we're going to see here in a second, attacking that problem, like professional refs for soccer, they, because I know a couple of them, and they tell me that after their match of refing, they immediately go watch film. So what we think is a 3 hour, because you're thinking they're gonna prep before the game, get everything going, and then have the game. So you might think 3 hours. Then no, they stack another 3 hours on top, watching film just then and there. Now that brings us to the emotional focused coping. Now this is regulating that inner storm, right? You're nervous before a big game, a big race, or you're using some breathing, some visualization. You got the hype music going, it's shifting your state. It's helping. Your body's calm, your focus returns. Now, can you manage that internal state alone? Can you keep under pressure having that internal state? That is a real question that I wonder for you, because this is what happens, right? You get that going, you're getting it going, you're controlling the response to the storm, you're not just hiding from it. We're doing pretty good here, right? And you're helping the performance. These emotions are simply signals. They're like text messages to us. They are not enemies, okay? Whatever we're feeling, they're not enemies. They're telling us something important. They are texting us, and they are our gateway to what we are moving forward for. Now, we have some tools. These are common ones. These are why I put them on this episode here. And if we actually work together, or if we're in the Phrenologic Gym or any other pieces, we might go deeper into these. But this is why I use these, because they're pretty common and they're ones that we constantly come back to as well. But these are these emotional regulation tools or exercises that I like to call them. And at first, we want to know our emotional signal, right? Are we having a tight chest? Are we getting those butterflies going in the stomachs? Do we get a little headache? What is actually the response to a stressor that we are trying to control with these emotions here, right? And if we need to ask this, does this calm me or prepare me? They're both valuable, but we want to know which ones we need, right? You got to think about this as a curve of performance, of arousal, of hyped upness. Is it going to be right on the edge, or do we want to be a little bit lower, like we're golfing, or do we want to be a little more aroused, a little more hyped, like we're going into a football game? So a few common ones that we can use for this are box breathing, inhaling, holding it, exhaling, holding it, and on and on. Turning to that calm returns. Maybe we just need some positive, productive keywords, right? These are going to be those short, powerful phrases. Maybe it is attack. Maybe it's the next play. Maybe it's hunt them down. Whatever is going to activate you, whatever is going to get you going. And then a quick body scan, right? This is something that I'm going to go deeper in here too, but quick body scan. Notice the toes, notice the knees, the hamstrings, maybe the low back, right? Maybe it's this upper body and that's where we're tight. So the jaws, the ears, the cheek, the nose. If we can put sensation into those areas, it's going to give us more control and more self awareness when we're going into these main areas. And before we move on to this one, I just want to also note that I like to use sprinters, for instance, and you look on watch the Olympics, they're going to use visualization. They're going to know how many steps are going to be taking through the track, especially if they're like doing a 400. They're going to know these. They're going to know the time that they need in each spot. That's their visualization. But they also had their technical prep. They know the exact running. You're going to see them doing the exact running before they get into it, before they get into the blocks. You're going to see them map it out. And that ties back to these emotional coping ones and into this next one of problem focused coping, where we are really facing that fire. And I don't say fear because it's fire for us. And I do believe this is the best, because no matter how much we try to handle those emotions, sometimes they're going to be too much for us, right? So this is where the fun really begins, where we got a rough outing, okay, or we're sulking, we're spiraling, and we're reviewing the mistakes. We're looking at the triggers. We're making the plan. We are attacking the stress source, not just trying to avoid it or not just trying to soothe it in the instance, right? We are looking at these specific adjustments. This is where that stress transforms into actual progress and then performance. It is attacking the controllables and owning the progress and turning that pressure into preparation and performance. It's the number one growth strategy. This helps us build that long term resilience. This is what is so fun as we get into this. Now, I got 4 parts here. Yeah, 4 parts. So we're going to get into this to hopefully help you think about what is the most powerful way to handle stress. And ideally, it's strategically. It's outside of the time when that stress is actually there. So then the next time it comes, you know more how to even handle it. Because once again, that emotional regulation piece, if we don't have those pieces that I listed out, if we don't practice them before, well, then now we're really just trying to stuff it down or forget about it or move on from it. And that's one thing to say, another thing to do. Realistically, those 3 basic exercises I used in the emotional coping are from this problem focused coping, which is what makes it so fun here, right? So this is turning stress into our strategy. It's not just going to be reacting, it's going to be really creating this systematic approach to have improvement. And the first thing we want to do is define the specific stressor and crystal clear about it. Not just, I played bad today. It's now I missed 4 free throws in the fourth quarter. I had 4 turnovers, or I dropped the ball twice in that fourth quarter when I was supposed to catch it. Number 2 is separate the controllable pieces from the uncontrollable pieces if we are walking through this. Okay. Crowd noise, the refs, the zebras, we can't control that, but we can control our routine, and we can prep our routine right here, right now. We can control our focus, which we're working on. We can focus and control our preparation for the next time we are in this instance, right? This is aiming it into this bullseye. And from that, we now can create our stepping stone goals, our micro plan, mapping it out for what we are going to control and what our action plan is behind it. What are these steps? What are the things that we are actually going to practice here now and make them our stepping stone goals? So down here it says measurable and time bound. Well, that's what the stepping stone goal is. We got that top of the mountain. Now we're trying to play our very best or make it to state, whatever the case is. The next step to there, that's got to get time. That's probably the next day we're going to be trying it. That's why it's time bound, because it's bound into the next day and it's measurable. Put something behind it. Say, all right, I dropped 2. I'm going to do those breaths. I'm going to see the ball coming in when I do the route. I'm going to put myself in that pressure scenario. I'm going to see myself in a game and do it like that, or I'm in game at the end of a game. This way we can then reflect, we can adjust. Okay, that's why it's time bound. It should be time accelerated, squared, make it velocity, acceleration. I don't care. Learn from the data, see the result, do it the next day, then refine the approach again. Continue to do this. This is how it goes. I like seeing Tom Brady's. Let me go to the next slide here. I like seeing Tom Brady's post-game review sessions because he's always honest, and I think everyone else is always more happy than he is about it. He's problem focused, breaking it down. These are legendary responses from the legendary people we see in the sports of transforming the stress into the growth of what is actually happening to them into the growth. If we do it this way with the problem focused coping for the stress, we are going to have improved confidence. We're going to lower the stress reactivity. We're going to have higher resilience under pressure if we can follow this. All right, long-term style. We're wrapping it up here, but all three do have their place. I don't want to hate on any of them, but only one is really going to build that long-term lasting resilience and get you that competitive edge, that competitive advantage for you. Okay. Just super, super short. It's knowing that stress is not the enemy, but it's rather just the training ground. You're going to face it, but are you going to avoid it? Are you just going to try to regulate it? Or are you going to attack it so it's not even there next time? Right? It'll be there, but it'll be like a little bug under your foot is what it's going to be like. The avoidance is going to bring the relief, but the emotional focus will bring a little bit of balance in there. The problem focused brings mastery. Attack it face on. The stress face on will actually be your teammate. It'll be helping you against the enemies rather than your enemy and on their team. So I'll show this, but the avoidance, high short term, low long term. That avoidance loop is going to build. The emotion is going to be moderate short term. It's going to be moderate long term. It's better. But it's not the root, and that's where the problem focus comes from. Short term, it does make it challenging. I know the first time you do this, hopefully you can do this right after this episode. It'll be a little challenging, but long term, it compounds, it adds, it just skyrocketing, and it will build that resilience and the mastery for you, that mental performance mastery. And our mental playbook here, this is the playbook for you so you can be like a champion and not avoid the pressure, but prepare for it. Have I said that enough today? Manage your state, your emotional state through the pressure. Learn from it. And lastly, just want to make sure we got this here is you're going to be there. You're going to show up. The stress is going to show up. Don't escape it. Don't just soothe it, pet it, face it head on. Joust with it. Use it. Now, ultimately, if you're liking this, if you're liking our mental performance playbook, give it a 5-star review. Okay, check out the Athlete's Health. Check out our Furnoic Gym. We got links down below, but scroll up to the top of this podcast, give it a 5-star review. And if you like that, share it with someone else. Otherwise, check out more of our coaching. And I'm glad you checked this out. Feel free to give us what your thoughts are on this. If you want to see more of these, let me know, because I love whipping these up and doing a little bit more of a presenting coaching style with that PowerPoint instead of just me talking to the camera the whole time. So I will say I'm going to be working on the camera angles and everything else. But this is Gabe Rommel from the Athlete's Health, our Furnoic Gym, our mental performance playbook right here. I will catch you next week. Peace.